When starting out in photography, a lot of what we do is hustling. We need to make money, we need to make rent, we need to pay bills. So in this week's video, I want to talk about how to make £1,000 this month. And I'm going to give you some ideas of things that if I had to make £1,000, I would do as a beginner photographer. So we're not going to look at really elaborate stuff or long-term plans. We're going to look at short, fast, quick money, because sometimes that's what you need. Now, if I was skint today and I had a camera and nothing else, camera and a lens, that's all, and I had to make some money, the first thing I would do is a headshot day. And what I mean by that is this. And I used to do these actually. I would set up a Eventbrite page because you don't want to be dealing with people on one-to-one emails. It would take too long. And I'd book in 30-minute slots. I would then go and rent a town hall or a village space or a photo studio if you've got the money to do so. I would pick out a price point, maybe £50 a ticket. I would say everybody gets 3 images, fully retouched and edited. There's no upsell, there's no extra stuff. It's got to be streamlined here. I would do a single setup. If you've got no lights, use the window light and use that. If you can get a speed light or something, do that. And I would shoot the headshots all day long. I'd do it as a special offer. I would put it up on LinkedIn. I'd put it in all the little Facebook groups in your area, which are local to you, because there are a lot of professionals who need a good headshot. Bang up a quick portfolio, get 5 mates to come round to show them exactly what they're getting, go, this is what you get, you pay your 50 quid, you get your headshot sent to you via WeTransfer, job's done. It's a very quick and sort of efficient way to shoot. You build your editing preset in Capture One or Lightroom, you shoot tethered, comes in, goes out. When you're doing these fast, cheap shoots, you do not want to be spending time in Photoshop retouching for hours, because that's not what this is. This is, do you need a headshot on a tight budget? Now, if you imagine that you can get 16 people in a day at £50 a head, that is a good way towards your money. Once you've done the first one, you then have it as a term in your thing, or you'll ask them, can I use it for marketing for the next one? You'll set up your second one already for 2 weeks' time. And you go, look, here's what we did in our last one, put the best headshots together. Who'd like to sign up for this one? Limited spaces, head over to here, book your time slot. And this is a really good way to bring in that extra £1,000, or maybe your only £1,000 for the month in photography. Keep it cheap, keep it simple. Don't stress yourself out. Don't overcomplicate it. The biggest mistake I see people making on these sorts of setups is they'll turn up with a 3-light setup or a 5-light setup. Don't do that. That's a nightmare. Turn up with a white paper roll, a nice key light or a window, one lens, get your camera tethered in and just shoot away. Keep it really simple, really efficient. Get it delivered same day, just banging it out there. You don't need assistants, you don't need staff, you just need to be there yourself. Find a nice spot to do it in. Maybe even your local cafe has a spare room upstairs where you can do it. Everybody wants a headshot, and if you make it so affordable that you can bring the numbers in, it's a real easy way to make that money. Now, leading on from that, as a seasonal thing, what I used to do when I worked with people, and I used to do it in this warehouse here when I first got it actually, was my Christmas shopping money. So if I needed to go Christmas shopping, I'd need some money. So what would we do? Christmas cards. We'd shoot in the UK, if you're reasonably middle class, you have a family portrait taken and that is your Christmas card. And I'd book them in for one day only. And it was very important that it was one day only because it gives a sense of urgency. If you go, come whenever, people won't bother booking. But if you do it for one day only, I think I charged £75 a family. We had a family in every 30 minutes. And that entire day, we just shot all day, fully booked, delivered them by the end of the day. And then I went Christmas shopping for the kids. And that was my extra money, so it didn't feel like I was digging into my usual living money. And that's a real good way just to get a quick cash injection. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, that's great, Scott. I follow you because I'm a food photographer. I don't shoot people. They stress me out. And I don't blame you. People are awful to photograph. If I was a food photographer, what would I do? And I was just starting out. Well, I'd put together a restaurant package. I'd be like, look, here are 3 options. We can come in and we can shoot 5 menu items for you in this style, 1 shot of each menu item for this much money. And the key to this is you have a very specific system. You don't want to be invoicing, you want to be getting them to pay up front because it's small amounts of money and you can't chase them if they don't pay. Or you can, but it's not really worth your time and effort. So small amounts of money, you might start off at £50 for something very basic, then £75, £100, £150. And you make it clear the more they spend, the more they get. You have it as a very simple setup thing and you go, right, these are the days I'm doing it on. And again, you can use Eventbrite or something similar to that. And I'm not sponsored by Eventbrite. I just used to use it for them to book in their time slot and everything else. Have your terms are very strict in that if they cancel, tough luck. Once they've booked it, they've paid and they're in for the long haul. And again, the key to this is not spending hours in Photoshop. You don't want to be touching Photoshop. It needs to be clear that retouching is not part of this. You get a color graded image delivered at web res and full res. That's it. And it's an image per dish. So they're not getting like 50 angles, whatever it is. You get it out there and you shoot it in a formulaic way. You might give them an option. You can have 45 degrees or you can have top down. Which one would you like? Top down, brilliant. Camera goes up, dish goes down, bang them out. And no, this is not stealing money by price cutting people. This is not undercutting other people. This is charging for what you're delivering. You're not delivering a full production. You're not delivering a full massive shoot with a food stylist and all the rest of it. And that's fine. If you need quick cash, you've got to think like this. You've got to go, right, what is the lowest overhead I can have? What is the simplest way I can do volume very quickly? Now, this is not a long-term business plan. You can't do this all year round. They'll want this shoot and they won't want one for another 6 months, but it's a good way when you need that cash injection. And let's be honest, at some point, we all need that cash injection. Sometimes you've had a bad month, your car's broken down, your heating's died, and you're like, oh, I just need an extra grand just to tide me over. Or sometimes you're thinking, well, do you know what? I'm just starting out. I'd love to make that first £1,000. What's a good way to do it? Let's crack on with that. Let's give it a go. Now, I do have a full-on Marketing 101 workshop, which isn't really for this, but once you've done this quick, let's get going. That is more for the, right, I've made my quick grand. Now, how am I going to consistently bring the money in? How am I going to consistently get clients coming through? What is it that the professional photographers do to get their clients? And that might be for you once you've got past this hurdle of needing that £1,000. Now, these are just a couple of examples. And of course, the success of these depends on two key factors. One, if you're a knob or not. If you're a person that people don't like and you rub people the wrong way, you're probably going to struggle to do this. That is a fact of life. Two, is your work any good? If your work is just awful, people won't book it, no matter how cheap it is, because it's a waste of their time. And especially in the food sort of area, if they're going to cook all that food, that costs them money, it costs them fuel, it costs them staff wages, it costs them food. And for then you to return nothing for cheap, it's not really worth it. So this is a good litmus test to see how good your work is. If you put out this cheap offer and nobody bites, back to the drawing board for working on your images. And that, that's a hard lesson, but it's got to be learned. Anyway, thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed this video, do hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out. It helps me get more viewers. More viewers brings in more money. More money means I can put more time aside to make these videos for you to watch for free. Have a good day. Bye-bye.